is overthinking's brother. I'm not saying that making a plan is a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that a lot of you at the beginner level, I'm going to think about the what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm going to think about all of it. And because I'm thinking about all of it and I'm planning, that means it's going to increase the likelihood that you're going to become a success. Planning when you have zero actual experience is not planning. It is overthinking. Success gurus have probably convinced you that planning's a good thing. And it is a good thing once you actually have data. Once you know what doesn't work, once you know what does work, aka experience, you got all those data points. Yes, at that point, planning is a smart thing. But until you have that data to back up what you should do and what you should not do, you need to just be taking action. You have to turn that overthinking hamster reptilian brain of yours off. And you just have to stick to the process. And the better you get at sticking to the process, the better your life is going to get. If I tell you to jump, jump. Don't ask, how high? Should I do one leg or two legs? Just jump. That's all you have to do, just jump. And then over time, what's gonna end up happening is you will find what works and what doesn't work. And you'll keep testing and testing and testing. Overthinking, I would argue, is one of the main reasons why most people have a less than good existence. It affects relationships, it affects your bank account, it affects your day-to-day life, and you have to get out of your mind. You can't spend your entire human existence just dwelling in your mind all the time. It would be as if I'm sitting here in my mind thinking, man, I feel fatigued and I'm tired and I'm dehydrated and I haven't drank water all day. And there's a bottle of water right here, but I'm just sitting here thinking and thinking and thinking about it. And then you're sitting there saying, Dylan, the water's right there, just drink it. You'll feel energized, you'll feel great, you'll be hydrated. No, I just need to think more about it. What brand of water should I drink? Should I drink sparkling or should I drink still water? How much water should I drink? Dylan, just drink the water. That's all you have to do, just drink the water. And you'll be hydrated. And then I keep resisting because I want to drink the most perfect water. Maybe I'm not ready yet to drink the water. Maybe I need to be more dehydrated for a little bit longer and then I'll be able to be hydrated. It doesn't matter if you're ready or not ready. Just drink the water. And then you'll find out if you need more water. That's how I feel. I'm sitting there, I'm like, just do this. That's all you have to do, just do it. And then you're sitting there thinking, well, is this the best way to do it? What about this? Should I have this type of picture? Should I have this type of title? How long should I work? I don't know if I'm ready. I think I just need to have some more time to think about it and plan it out. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, the exact life that you want is on the other side of you just doing this. Just do it. But you keep resisting. And so I'm here to tell you that your life will tremendously get better whenever you just get out of your mind. Everything that you want out of your life, anything that you want to improve, only improves. And you only develop a concept of it through taking action. Back whenever I got started, I've told many of my different stories over the past decade. But whenever I got started, I had zero experience. I didn't have any skill sets. I was a brokey. I didn't have anybody to rely on because I moved out at 18. My family moved hours and hours away. I was by myself. And I didn't have somebody, such as all of you have with me, telling me what to do, what not to do. Here's the path you need to take, answering my questions. But if I would have just sat in my room all day, reading all these different ways to make money, watching endless videos about it, not doing anything, I wouldn't be here today. Now, on my end, I got a little bit, quote unquote, lucky because I'd already done forms of side hustles in the past. And the thing that I like about side hustles, you don't need really anything to get started. And side hustles a lot of people talk trash about side hustles. A lot of people do, but it's because they're small-minded and they're just trying to psyop you. Side hustles are fantastic. If you're sitting there and you're still going to school, if you're sitting there and you're going to a job, if you don't have a lot of time on your hands, because without much time on a day-to-day basis, you can generate a side income. I remember the first time I was at my day job at the time, while I was working, I had some people respond to some of my listings and it was 100%, like they were ready, but I had to wait until after I clocked out. So I had the items in my car and I added up how much money I had made once I collected the cash. And just from the items that I was selling that day, I think it was like 2 or 3 items. Just from those items that I sold, I made nearly double how much I would have made or how much I did make from that day's wage. And I remember the excitement that I felt. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is possible. This is real. Imagine if I could do it every single day. Like, just imagine that. But you only are going to experience that through taking action, not through planning, not through overthinking what's the best item, what's the best service, what's the best flyer, what's the best this, what's the best that, what's the best type of marketing, best type of business. Should I take a cold shower? Should I wake up at 5 a.m.? None of that's going to change anything. And honestly, even waking up early in the morning doesn't really do anything. It doesn't actually make you more successful. The truth of the matter when it comes to waking up earlier is simply because you have more time to yourself. So that's why I used to wake up an hour before I had to go into my job, because just that, waking up an hour before I had to go into my job so I could get started on my side hustle, my business, it gave me such an energy boost, such a sense of purpose, such a sense of fulfillment that it carried throughout the rest of the day. That's when I created this whole concept to start the day winning. Because I used to have really bad motivational issues. One day it would be up here, the next day it would be down there. One day it would be up here, the next day it would be down there. And because of that, I kept procrastinating. I would take 2 steps forward, 10 steps back, because I lived off of my motivation levels. But once I initiated just starting the day winning through waking up an hour before I had to go into my job, I started finding it was almost effortless to stay consistent. And then as I went throughout my day at my job, I would find pockets of time that I could make for my business. For you, completing the daily checklist, being here inside the chats. And then I would look forward to getting home. Back in the day, before I started working on myself, just want to get home so I could relax. Turn on some Call of Duty, play Call of Duty for a few hours, eat some food. But I've said this before, business is the best form of self-improvement because it forces you to be disciplined. It forces you to be consistent. It forces you to be confident. It forces you to take action because if you don't, nothing's going to change. So instead of me sitting around reading self-help books all day, I was actually just building a business and I was learning how to overcome challenges, overcome failures, learn new things, take action, self-belief. And because of that, my life started becoming better. So I could get home, take a quick shower, eat some food, train, all that type of stuff, and then spend the rest of the evening working on my business because I understood that that was my ticket to a better life. You have to accept at this point that your 9 to 5, firstly, none of that's going to give you the life that you want. Are there certain people that maybe it does? Sure. But if you look at the probability of that happening, it's a very low chance. Every single person that I went to high school with that went down the job path, still living in the same city. Some of them have moved to another city. They're up to their eyeballs in debt. They never go on vacation. Sometimes they'll go down to Florida, they'll go to Cancun, Mexico. They're not traveling the world. I've been to 27 different countries. I've lived all over the world. I've actually had an impact on other people. I'm not Mr. Save Everybody. I'm not that at all, but I do want to leave this earth a better place than whenever I found it, because I didn't have this type of stuff whenever I got here. And so I want all of you that are watching this right now to stop sitting around planning so much. It will literally drive you crazy. Sitting around planning, sitting around thinking about what could go wrong. What if it works out? Why don't you ask yourself that? What if this actually works out? Stop being so negative all the time. Stop thinking that you're useless. Stop thinking that you're a loser. Stop thinking that you're a coward. Stop thinking that you're a failure. None of those thoughts benefit you. So stop sitting around planning because it tricks you into thinking that you're actually making progress. You are not making progress if you're sitting around planning. The only progress that happens is who you're becoming through taking action. And the better you become, better your life gets. Be that person in your mind and in your actions. Do the right things consistently, and you will have the life that you want. I'm telling you, you can live a reality where you don't live paycheck to paycheck. The version of your reality right now is not the only version of reality. There are so many other versions of reality that you can plug into, but you don't plug into it through some esoteric manifestation, law of attraction garbage. That's not what's going to change your life. The reason people talk about the law of attraction and manifestation and affirmations and all that is, yes, they do work, but it's easy. Most people are naturally lazy. They don't want to sit down and actually just work. They want to take a pill instead of just not putting as much food in their mouth. They want to just eat McDonald's 4 times a day and read all these weird diets because they're sitting there, they're super skinny like a twig, instead of just eating the right food and training harder. They want to sit on a couch and law of attract more money into their life instead of just working. They want to sit around planning instead of taking action. They want to overthink instead of just directing their thoughts and their actions towards an outcome. You need to stop thinking as much about the outcome. You need to think more about the process. The process is where the magic takes place, not the outcome. A lot of you will sit there and waste so much of your energy thinking about the outcome of what it is that you want, and you ignore the process. The process is boring. Everybody wants a supercar. Everybody wants a nice watch. Everybody wants lots of money. Everybody wants to be able to travel the world. Of course, who wouldn't? I would actually say somebody's weird if they don't want that. But what they don't like is showing up every single day. What they don't like is doing the boring stuff day in and day out, which leads me to my final point. When you're doing the boring stuff day in and day out, how do you excite yourself? You excite yourself through having a clear vision. That's what we were talking about the other day with the light at the end of the tunnel that's in your mind, where it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You are clear as day on where you're going. That was the only thing that got me through my brokey days. Those moments of time where nothing seemed to be working in my favor. Of course, they annoyed me, but I knew in my mind where I was going. I could see it, I could feel it, and I kept taking action. I kept showing up. I kept getting better. I kept improving my skills. I kept working on myself every single day. And I think that's why I've got so much compassion for everybody, because I understand it's hard out there. It is. You have to overcome all these things in your own mind. You have to overcome things outside. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do. But would you rather do all that stuff and pay the price to wake up one morning and you've got everything that you ever wanted? It's worth it. What's the other alternative? Settling? Not living the life that you actually want? Just because you want to please other people? Just because you want to be Mr. Goody Two-Shoe? Oh, I played by the rules. I did what I was told. I did everything that everybody else said was the correct way to do it. Now look at my life. It's not what I wanted, but I followed the rules. You can do that if you want, or you can decide in your own mind and get clear as day on what you actually want. What are your intentions? What type of life do you want to live? What type of life do you want to be able to provide for other people? And once you get clear on that, get out of the clouds, get out of fantasy land, and get into the real world. The real world is taking action, showing up every single day, doing the boring stuff, but doing them to the best of your ability, which leads me to my final point. It's not about seeing things as hard. It's not about suffering. It's not about endlessly toiling out in the fields. It's about finding joy. It's about finding energy in what it is that you're doing. That was one of the biggest mindset shifts that I personally had many years ago, because I used to struggle because I looked at everything as hard. Everything was a challenge. Just sitting down to do work would literally zap me of my energy. But then as I started seeing some results, small, but results were results, I started getting excited. Before long, I actually started finding joy in the stuff that I was doing. Whether I was seeing the full result that I wanted or not, it didn't matter. I found joy in the fact that I was becoming better. I found joy in the fact that I could see progress. Not shoulda, coulda, woulda, not what if, not fantasy land, tangible progress. Whether it was getting a little bit stronger in the gym, whether it was losing a little bit more weight, whether it's seeing more money in my bank account, everything adds up. And that's why some people seemingly become overnight successes. They do the right things for a long enough time period. All the variables add up and then they become a success. And it's going to be different for you than it was for me. It's going to be different for me than it was different for all the other people that are watching this right now. And that's the beauty of it. We all have a version of reality where we wake up and it is exactly what it is that we want. And I would even argue that your dream reality right now is nothing compared to what you will have if you just stick to what you're doing here, showing up every single day. You're going to wake up and your life is going to be so much better than you possibly could have imagined. Now, that said, I want all of you to go take action on the stuff that we just discussed. Don't just sit here thinking, oh my gosh, Dylan, that was so inspiring and motivating. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Words don't mean anything. Try to go to some store right now and just pick up as many items as you want, put them in your basket and say, thank you so much, and then walk out. You'll get arrested. That's theft. So don't sell yourself short on the life that you could have. Don't just sit here listening to what I'm saying and be like, wow, amazing. I know it's amazing. It's because it's real. Actually go out there and implement everything that we ever talk about and do it now. Don't put it off till tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day or when you feel ready. You're never going to feel ready because so many of you, here's where you're at, here's what you want, and you wait until you're ready. Things have to be just right. You keep pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off. Bring it to a conclusion now. Just do it. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I'm not expecting for you to just figure it out immediately, to crack the code immediately. What I am expecting is for you to actually stop being afraid of reality. Stop being afraid of the life that you have. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's all up here. It is. It's all up in your mind. There are very few things to be afraid of. If you told me if we were up in an airplane, you said, I believe that I can jump out of a plane without a parachute, I'm going to be fine. That's not true. If you jump out of an airplane without a parachute, probably not going to make it. 99% chance you're not going to make it. But everything outside of that is all in your mind. And I want all of you to experience the confidence that I feel on a day-to-day basis. Once again, I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting here talking down to you. I'm not. But I want you to experience the confidence that I have felt for so long now that it's just my normal, where literally anything's possible. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you fail at something, it's not the end of the world. You pick yourself back up, dust off, and then you do it again and again and again. And then you win. And then you keep going and keep going.